Hello everybody and welcome back to SkySaga Alpha 8. We're over here in the Wastelands and it is time for another episode. Now, the very first thing that some of you may notice is that I've actually got a new microphone right now. So, apologies if the sound is just a little bit off this episode because I just need to kind of get myself sorted with this new microphone and see just how well this is going to go and get used to kind of tweaking it and setting it up correctly. But anyway, that is enough about kind of other things. We're going to talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing here today. So today's going to be a bit of a shorter episode just because I don't have quite as much time to record today as I do most weeks. Now, what that means is I don't have enough time to go out and do the next thing that needs to happen here. And the next thing that needs to happen here is me going out and getting just an entire rucksack's worth, or even probably more than that, worth of gravel, because we need to fill out this actual pad here and then start expanding it out and back a little bit so that we can then use that to actually build up something else. So yeah, we're going for a couple of other locations and landmarks and things out here, but of course to do that I'm going to need to expand out, and to do that I'm going to need gravel, but unfortunately, like I said, I don't have time to do that this week. So what we're planning on doing today then is we're going to throw a little bit of decor into this guy over here, probably just taking some of the stuff that we have left over from this island and the other build that we've done. As you can see, there's a little bit of tidying up that can be done around the bottom here as well. And then I was thinking we're actually going to go over and have a look at an island that I haven't touched for a couple of alphas now, in actual fact. Now, this island is my ice workshop too. Now, I have had this for a little while and it's been public for a long time, and it's basically, it was from I think about Alpha 4 even, or maybe it was Alpha 5, but it got saved. And it's something that you guys can come along and have a look at, but as it's been saved, things have changed between alphas here and there, and basically it's broken a little bit, and I really want to go over there and actually change it and kind of add some finishing touches to it, just tidy it back up, get it working again, get it ready to go. So, like I said, we're going to first start off by having a look what we've got in here. We'll grab a few of those, maybe grab that table, I reckon. So like I said, I'm just kind of looking for a few items of interest around here somewhere. We might even grab a barred window, and I think everything else is going to be a little bit too made up for this guy. Although the barrels that I just clicked over here are probably a good idea. Now, I really want to rename this island, so we're going to do that on camera right now. We're going to call it the Chasm, I think, just because that is the main adventure out here. Really, that is what that is. It is a lava chasm. Unfortunately, we don't have a lava chasm title deed, but we can call it the Chasm, and I think that works quite well. So here we go. Drax Forest Chasm. Now, I really wish that I could get rid of the forest there, because obviously this is the Wastelands, but, for now, that is going to be good enough as it is. So let's get on into here. Place a few decor items down. Now I'm thinking that more of the decor items are going to be going up around the top area here, so we might even kind of throw something there and make that look like it's supposed to be a window, but it's not really. Because, yeah, that wasn't ever going to be a thing that actually happened. That's not really supposed to have anything. We're going to throw another window in over there. Kind of mismatch those a little bit, but I think that's going to be okay. I mean, it is also a broken thing, so it's not supposed to be absolutely perfect in any way, shape or form, as you can see, especially with all of the damage and debris going on down here. So we're also going to put a little bit of a handrail in there, make it look like this thing actually did have handrails and stuff going for it originally. Check it out, this is looking good. Liking that a lot. Now the other thing we've got in here, we've got a small table and some shelves. So I'm doing this on camera just because I feel like I haven't really done a whole lot on camera recently, so I wanted to actually put something down on camera and just do a little bit of building and a little bit of messing around here on camera. Now, the other thing, I did do that, I think the last episode we changed out all of the grass that was down here, because we ended up with a little bit of red grass down around the bottom there. But that, I think, is looking pretty good. I think this is where we're going to leave that. It's only going to have the single chest up here. I might come through and change that to a double chest at some point, but that'll be when we come back here and we're doing the stuff with the gravel and placing lots and lots and lots more gravel down. So that, of course, is hopefully that'll be next week. I just need to find the time to go out and collect up that gravel. I also really do wish that I could put something down to stop things from spawning in around here. What's it doing down in here? I was going to quickly check these chests over here. I keep thinking there's multiple chests over here because, of course, there has been in the past. And I think we're good from here, although we might grab a stalagmite, a couple of small stalagmites, and put those down over there as well, because that, I think, is going to look quite good. We're going to get a little bit more of that broken rock type feel by putting a few of these down around the place up in here. So if we like throw one about there, and throw one around here somewhere, and one around there somewhere, and maybe one around there. Perfect. I think that's looking good. Looking good. But like I said, we will come back here when we make it back over to the Wastelands at some point in the future. Hopefully, like I said, next week, and we can actually start filling this place out properly and start realizing the idea of having just gravel absolutely everywhere in the Wastelands, because I really, really like the way it looks over here. It just kind of ties everything back together really nicely, and I was surprised by that because it is such an ugly, ugly, horrible texture. But when it all sits together and merges nicely, I think it works quite well. So anyway, we're going to stop working around here. I'm going to dump all this stuff back in chests, and we're going to head over to the workshop island. We're going to have a quick look around, have a bit of a discussion on what I think is going to need changing, and we'll go from there. Okay, so here we are on this island. Now, for those of you who haven't been here with me before, this is an island, like I said, I built it a couple of alphas ago, and it must have been alpha 5, I think, because that was around Christmas time, and the devs did a whole thing where they actually added in Christmas decorations and all sorts of stuff for us to use at Christmas time. Now, this is kind of what's going on here, and for some reason I'm getting a lot of music in my ears right now, which you guys are probably hearing quite loudly as well. I've realized that the microphone picks up the sound of the game quite well in comparison to the other stuff that I've been doing. Now, this place, like I said, this was designed, the reason I'm kind of staying off the main section is it was designed originally when the kind of secondary home islands didn't have as exciting music going on in the background, and it wasn't as loud and in your ears as this is right now. Because if you come into here, you can just kind of hear underneath the other music, you can hear some small Christmas music, and that is actually done by putting in some chests down under here. Now we'll get to this other stuff in a second. But there are actually chests in under this pathway here. I really don't want to go digging up all of it. I can't remember exactly where they are, and I've definitely missed there. Somewhere around here there is actually a chest. Yeah, here we go. There's actually a small little chest down in under here, and for some reason I can only press the button to pick that up. So we're not going to do that, but yeah, that is a chest, and it plays Christmas music, which is really quite cool. And yeah, but what it does mean is that when the music is quite loud in your ears like this, you end up getting a little bit of crosstalk and cross music happening. Now, as you can probably tell, and it's pretty hard to see on the minimap, so I'm just going to remove the chests. This whole pathway here is actually a candy cane pattern, so it's got red and white candy cane all the way up, but in a recent alpha, yeah, they've changed it so that you get this nice snow texture happening on the island, and that's interesting, but it also means that I need to go through and change this place so that we can actually see these, this pathway and this candy cane striping. Now the other thing is that we've got this nice little jeweled lamp hanging up here, but it was supposed to be part of the North Pole, and the North Pole stretched down this way. Unfortunately, that was actually made out of pillar pieces, and the pillar piece recipe got removed and changed and updated, as it were, and so that means that these have kind of disappeared, which means that's another thing that we need to do. Now, for those of you who have never been here before, This place is really cool. It's a little like Santa's workshop house thing, and as you can see, this door is blocked, and that was completely done on purpose because the whole idea was that you were supposed to get into Santa's house by breaking into Santa's chimney and jumping down here, bam, hitting the floor, and you enter in through the house like this. And as you can see, these are the chests that make the Christmas music. And yeah, this is the little Santa's chimney. The nice little smoke effect is, once again, it's just done, I think this one's done with chimneys, but it might actually be done with braces. Oh yeah, here we go. We've got some braces in under there. That is my pretty standard go-to trick for getting smoke anywhere I need smoke, and I think it works really well. The only thing that would be nice is maybe to put some logs in there or something, but then you wouldn't actually be able to get out of the chimney area, so that's probably not the best idea. And up in here, not a lot has actually changed in here. I think there are a few recipes missing, but not a whole lot. I think this place is looking pretty good indeed. Now, this is just a nice little cottage. Of course, Santa needs to make his toys, so to make his toys, we're going to go down into the workshop space, which is down this way. Thankfully, none of these Christmas recipes have changed, because otherwise those would have disappeared, and this whole place would have been busted. And yeah, obviously, I got into a very stone beacon phase at one point, and I mean, they are a really, really good light source, to be perfectly honest. They are probably one of my favorites in the game. But yeah, so here we go. Down in here, we also now have a whole bunch of workbenches and all sorts of stuff. Now, this was all done at a time when the workbenches were a different size and shape to what they are now. And you can see there's a lot of saws going on down here, and that's because these guys used to look like the current workbench design, which is this guy over here, except for they had little piles of dust on them. So basically what I wanted that, but just in rows and rows and rows, and yeah, the masonry benches were the best way to do it, essentially. So I kind of put a lot of those down, and as you can see, those now need to be replaced and moved and all of that kind of stuff. As with all of these, in fact, we need to basically pick all of our snowmen back up, place our benches back down, and yeah, try again with getting these guys set up to make them look a little bit more workshoppy and cool. Now anyway, all the way out the back here, this is a little bit of a hack to get the job, and I had to unblock it at one point because it was impossible to get through, and apparently it is still impossible to get through. Thankfully on the public island this hasn't been changed yet, but basically there is an old, or at least used to be an old trick, where because this part of this door is in a half block, you could just walk straight through it. Unfortunately that's been removed from the game, which means that we need to find another way of having a secret exit out the back of this thing, which might be a little bit interesting because all of my secret entrances and secret door designs have been broken by updates and bug fixes and things in the alphas. So that's one little thing we're probably going to have to fix that may not even be in this episode, because I don't quite know yet how we're going to fix this one, but we will have a look at that together at some point. Other than that, we've got a few fixes around the place and to get done here, so I think we're going to go all the way back out to the top and start with the North Pole. Okay, so here we are. This is what I think we're going to do for the new North Pole. Now, this guy's actually made up of balustrade pieces. I think I'm saying that word right. Yeah, if I place one of these guys down on the ground in front of me, there you go, you can see that's exactly what this thing is made up of. It used to be made up of the fancy pillar pieces, but I actually like this better because it has a nicer, flatter top on it, and I think it actually works quite well with the hanging jeweled lamp that sits there. So I think that is going to be how we do this North Pole here for quite a while. I think it's going to stay like that, unless of course these recipes change, in which case we'll have to come back here in the future and actually do something about that. Now, there are other couple of quick things I kind of wanted to do around here, was I wanted to go through and put something over top of all of this so you can actually see the bricks down here. Unfortunately, it's looking like I don't have the recipes that I need to be able to do that. So what I was trying to do, I really wanted to put the hanging canopy A and B down, but as you can see I've only got hanging canopy C, which isn't going to be any help to me. at all. So that means we're going to have to move on from that idea a little bit and head down on into the workshop area. And wow, I got stuck on the rug. That is a bit interesting. But yeah, so we're going to have to head down into here, and we're going to have to modify our snowman army and the workbenches they are running around with. Now, I've also kind of created myself a little temporary exit out over here, just because the other exit's not quite working at the moment. Now, that is the other thing I need to do, although this is going to take a little bit of time and effort, because I'm going to have to sit down and work out exactly which decor items I have that I can use to get a new hidden exit going on down here. I'm honestly thinking I'm gonna have to just kind of cheat a little bit with it. I'm thinking the best way is probably to get something big like this guy that you can jump over and just have it like one block out from the wall. But like I said, we're gonna have to have a look at what I've got in here. Probably not on camera. I'll probably do this off camera in just a minute here. But yeah, that's probably the idea. To use something large and in the way, and then just have a nice little kind of hidden exit out behind it. I think that's where we're going to go with this. Yeah, that sounds like the best way. Anyway, that's something we'll do in just a second. Scroll holder might be okay, in fact. But yeah, for now, what I want to go through and do is we're going to ignore that for a second, and we're going to go through and change up all of these. The lathes are fine. Those guys are perfect. This guy is okay, that guy is not okay. I want the woodworking benches to be down over here. Oh, okay, that's the other thing we need to do. We need to go through and make up a whole bunch of chain links, because once again, there are chain links in here and those have been broken. Everything else seems to be going okay though. I've got a nice little like frozen sections on the beams at the top here, which I kind of like. Those are kind of fun ones to have. So yeah, we're gonna go through and change some stuff up. So the loom is fine. This guy is not fine. We're gonna pull him up out of here. We're also gonna pull that guy up out of there. We're also then gonna pull up the stone guys from over here, and yeah, change these over to saw benches. And yeah, we might even, I think, is that all of the? That's not what I wanted. I wanted to go into here. So we would need, yeah, because I don't really want the armor anvil or the weapon anvil to be in place down here. They don't really quite fit. We might make a food and drink stove to put down here though, but we'll definitely, yeah, swap over all of our masonry benches to saw benches, and I think that's going to be a good start. There it is, we've actually got our snowman back to working on saw benches just like that, and don't they look a lot better when they are like that? So now we've got our lathe lines, and then we've got these guys. Now the only thing I need to do is we're going to pull these guys out off the wall. These guys were up against a wall for a very particular reason, but that reason no longer matters because the game has changed, and basically it used to be that these guys, the saw benches, sorry, not the saw bench, yes, the saw benches, not the ones that I actually put down just then, but yeah, the saw benches used to have a pile of dust next to them, and I didn't really like that, so I pushed them right up against the wall because the pile of dust didn't count in the hitbox, which meant that it kind of got the pile of dust got pushed right out past the wall, which looked okay, like it actually looked pretty good, and it just, yeah, it meant that these guys had to be like hard up against the wall, but they don't really need to do that anymore because that's not how this game works anymore, which is kind of nice. I'm going to put that guy there. Now, the other thing, I've been very careful to place this sideways here because I'm not sure if you really saw it before, but when the stonemasonry benches were down there, this handle would kind of stick into the face of a snowman that was standing next to it. So didn't really want that, so we changed up the way around that these guys are facing. Hopefully that looks a little bit better. I mean, their noses seem to get a little bit stuck into the wood, but that I think is totally fine. It's quite funny, to be perfectly honest. So here you go. That is that done and dusted. Now what we need to do, well, now what I need to do is go through all of the objects that I have and find a better thing for this end down here and try and make another hidden door that's not going to be quite as good as all of the hidden doors I've made in the past. So I changed my mind a little bit on the plan for this guy. So if you come out over the back here, you can see that we've actually got a nice little like step up stage type thing here, and then you've got a little hole right at the back. So the idea is that we're actually going to put a decorative chair in here. So wherever that decorative chair is, the fancy elegant upholstered chair, we're going to make one of these pretty similar to the ones upstairs, the kind of red and white version, and we're going to sit it on this space right here so that it kind of hides the hole just that little bit. Now this place doesn't, like, it looks a little bit weird, let's be perfectly honest, it does look a little bit weird, but I think it is the best way that I can come up with right now as to how I hide this hole and how I actually let people get in back here so that they can come back up through to the surface, because that's what this is all about. Okay, apparently spring traps don't work on flying people, but you get spring trapped back up to the surface level just like that. And I think that works pretty well, or is going to work pretty well. So all I need to do now is go ahead and make that fancy upholstered chair, and we'll be right back. And it is looking good. Check that out. Here we go. We've got the nice little chair up here. I've also put a couple of presents just to kind of mask that hole just that little bit better. And also it means that unless you're me, or actually even if you're me, once you've come down here you can't jump back out again because the presents are going to be in the way. So that's kind of good. I like that a lot because it means that if you fall down there you have to explore what's outside or like what's down the pathway, and doing that you will run into the spring trap and get yourself back out to the surface. So I think that works pretty well. It's not ideal and I would really like to have my doors back, but I can't use them at the moment because the bug that I was using has been fixed and patched out of the game. So that is actually slightly annoying, but you know, these things do happen. So this is about as good as I'm going to be able to get this place, I think, for now. So obviously those presents had to come from somewhere, and I've just kind of nicked a present from here and a present from there. And I think that is actually going to do us around here, because the other small changes that I want to do, I can't quite do just yet because I need more recipes. So I need the hanging canopy recipe to fix this guy up out here. And then I need one other recipe for inside. Oh yeah, that's right. I need the chain links recipe because I was looking for the chain links in here so that I could actually do up the chains to hold the jeweled lamps, which is the lighting in down underneath. But unfortunately, I don't even actually have that recipe, have the diagonal recipe, but that is not going to help me in any way here. So yeah, we're going to have to come back to this guy at some point in the future, probably in a couple of weeks when I've gone through and found out where those recipes are and bought them or found them or done something. Also, that's another interesting point. I did put a spring trap out the back here as well for those people who couldn't work out how to use this guy over here. So this is my preferred method of getting up, jumping on the wagon wheel, but there is also a spring trap out the back to be nice and helpful because that does stand out pretty well and people are definitely going to be able to find that and use that. So yeah, I think I like this a lot right now, and we're going to republish this island, but first I think we should go over and have a quick look at what the before is like on this guy. So we're going to go straight from my ice workshop here. We're not going to stop this island being public. We're going to go and visit the public island, just see how broken this guy is, and then we're going to republish the island and everything will be all good. So this island really isn't as bad as I was remembering. So yeah, there was obviously just that little trick with the North Pole out the front there that just is broken right now. And then inside here, once we're inside here, of course, we can't get back out again, and I'll show you exactly why in just a minute. But yeah, we come down here, and if we come all the way down to the bottom, one thing that kind of gets me a little bit is that these doors will open. I like having these doors shut, so when I go through to publish, I'll make sure that these doors are shut because I don't like them as they are. Now, this is what I was talking about before. The poor snowman gets a a saw handle to the face, and as you can see, these things are interlacing, so every second snowman is getting a saw handle to the face, which I think is quite interesting, kind of funny, but these are of course the things that happen when the game updates and does weird and wonderful things like this. Now, this is the reason we can't get back out, because these doors say this door is blocked and you can't use them or activate them or anything because they are actually blocked. There's just a tunnel back there, so there's no space for them to swing into. Now, as you can see, when I highlight the door, only one half highlights. And yeah, that's because of the stuff we were talking about earlier, the little tricks that I use to get this place to actually work. So yeah, this place, not great, but it's gonna look a lot better now. So we're gonna go through, make sure those doors are closed, and do this quick republish. Alright, so here we go. I have just done what I needed to, taken all of the stuff back out of this chest where I placed it earlier, and the doors were open, so we're going to go through and we're going to close these doors. We're going to make sure that the exit works correctly, so I'm just going to take off my flying. Actually, might even, oh no, I can't actually, oh, here we go. This is a good way to do it. We're going to take off the flying pack, and we're going to go out through here. And drop down into the hole, and as you can see, can't get back out of here, so we actually have to keep going on and out through. Wow, okay, these steps don't work quite as well as they used to. That's a little bit awkward. And then, whoa, okay. There we go. Springtrap does indeed work, and we're back up to the top. Now, I'm not sure if I 100% like the airship being just sat there. But then again, I guess I do need to have some builds where the airship is actually visible. I've done a lot of builds recently where the airship hasn't been visible when you spawn in, so maybe we will just leave that there like that. Now, did I leave that door open or closed? I cannot remember, so let's put the flying pack back on and go down there and have a quick look. And once we see that door is closed, it is time to update this place and make it public again. And I think that is going to be the end of this episode because, as you can probably tell, my voice is still not the greatest. It has been kind of going a little bit during this, and I am running out of time to do this recording. So here we go. This door is there, so we are going to publish this island. And then that is going to be it. That is going to be all for today. So yeah, if you have any ideas for this place, if you think you've got some ideas that would make this kind of just that little bit more interesting, please let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, let's see what happens when we republish the island. No, nothing? Okay, so that's strange. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and figure out this bug, and I will see you guys in the next episode.